Oh, I know, I was over around it.
Okay, time being 7:06 p.m. I'd like to open the September 27th, 2016 meeting of the New Durham Conservation Commission. I'd like to appoint Bill Millay and Bob Craycraft to sit as voting members this evening. First item on the agenda tonight, public input. I see we have no one here to provide any public input, so we'll move right along. Why don't we? Review and approval of minutes. If you gentlemen would kindly take a moment to skim through these purposefully brief minutes, mercifully brief minutes that I threw together about 5 minutes ago.
Very good. Works for me. Yep, I'm good as well. Make a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion by Mark Sullivan to approve. Do I have a second?
Second as written.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Okay, that was Mark and Bob. Okay, looks like we have a few applications to have a look at here. Step back here, move that over there. Okay. Bear with me for a moment as I just paw through the first couple of pages and see what we're dealing with here. An awful lot of rebuilding of deteriorated rocky shorelines, don't we?
I know I should be doing my own.
Can you give me an address, Ron, just so I
Seeing
can...
as
Yep.
it's-
The first application this evening is 373 Merry Meeting Road, tax map 110, lot 28. And this is for Benecchi, Benecchi. Plan is to rebuild a deteriorated rocky shoreline and stop further erosion of shore frontage. Existing shoreline is not natural with smaller stones. Larger stones are to be added, stabilize the shoreline and make it more natural. Coir log and shrub bed to be added to stop erosion. Okay, this was submitted on the 31st of August. We have 260 square feet,
That's the one where the new ones.
54 linear feet of permanent impact, 336 square feet of temporary impact. In fact, we have a application materials prepared by Thomas Varney. Locus map, photos, and what have you. You see, we have one copy of that to look at. I'll throw that in front of you guys over there while Bob and I take a look at the photos, and then we can swap. Some odd feet of.
You have got a photo of that, yeah, that's the
Yeah.
wall. The beach adjacent to it is very steep. I don't know what'll keep it from washing out. It's new too, by the way.
Talking about this or next door?
Well, that's what I'm wondering, what I was looking at.
That's what they're proposing to rebuild, actually.
Okay, in front of that sound. Is that, no, that's a constructed
So
shrub.
it doesn't, there's no apparent beach on the photographs at least. But.
Yeah, you're thinking of the property next door.
We're thinking here?
Yeah, I think so. The new
Oh,
house.
the new property?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
quarter acre property, 124 linear feet of shoreline. They're talking about 54 feet of wall rebuild
I
here.
don't think it was down that far, I think it was up here. You're right.
So I take this is existing and this is new, yeah, existing proposed.
Okay. Um,
Buttermilk
Yeah, I don't know what to say
Stations.
about the one next door. It looks brand new. At the new house.
If you don't know, but right next door to this property, there's a new house going in,
Hmm.
if you've driven over there recently.
Sand beach like so.
Beach.
A
Huh?
lot of sand beach.
Is that
Yeah, I know.
Is that what's constructed wall?
There-
This little,
No.
oh, yeah, I just stayed,
Looking
okay.
that way, and it's not here. That's-
Well, we'll be around the corner.
Just one.
Yeah, boy, I don't know. Yeah, if it is.
Two
it's
cuts.
sitting there.
Wow. It's a thrown boulder shoreline
Okay.
referred to here.
Okay, well, that's
Not-
what it looks like.
Well, for what he's showing here in the picture, I certainly approve of it.
Well, there is, so there is a, I mean, there is a sand beach
Yeah,
shown
so
here.
That's not, it's,
You see this over on the edge over here, guys?
Yeah,
There-
yeah.
There is
Yeah.
a sand beach shown, but this is not the steep incline.
No.
And they're not proposing any changes on that side of the
I don't-
property. It's
I
just
don't
that.
even see the sand beach in any of these that,
Well, they're only showing the picture where they're gonna do the work. That's what
and this
for-
is a new house here.
Yeah.
So we got to be way up.
So it looks like they've got a pending shoreline permit as well, to
No, that's-
construct a swale
That's
for,
not it. It's gotta be down in here. Sorry.
they've got a shoreline, a pending shoreline permit as well to, infiltrate stormwater, in a new swale. And I'm not sure if that's shown
I
on
don't
here,
see it.
Something's not showing.
unless they're incorporating it into this shrub bed here.
I'm thinking it's in
Whatever it is for this application, it's not material.
here. I think it's this sand structure down in here, which
There's a
is,
thing on the left side of the lot.
well, that's gonna,
Yeah. So yeah, the only thing we're talking about here is this 54 linear feet
oh, I was just gonna show them where I thought it was there.
of rebuild
If you
here.
look at the dock, where the dock is
Yeah.
here, I think the sand that I'm talking about starts way up here and comes down that side.
But you think it's on this property or on?
That's what I was trying to,
It may be that beach on the left that you were looking at.
I don't know.
Yeah, this is not new construction here on this lot.
Well, it may not be a part of the new construction. That all has been, well, changed.
Hmm.
So they should propose swale up here, but I don't know where it is down here.
Oh, okay, so it looks like it's somewhere in the lawn, right?
I guess,
That's the shoreline
Hmm.
cross section. Well, that's good, you know, that's certainly a step above from where they are right now,
Mhm.
right? So, I mean, it looks pretty straightforward. They're proposing, you know, a shrub bed just up a gradient of the rebuilt rocky shoreline. Not proposing, you know, concrete block or anything. It's just kind of tidy up the
Yeah, that looks,
natural look of it and
No.
adding both a swale, intercept drainage, and a shrub bed just up gradient of the
Yep.
wall itself.
Yep.
So, I mean, this is clearly an improvement over
Yep.
what's there right now.
Other than
Right, well,
that, it doesn't. it's-
before, after,
Yeah,
right?
but
So-
I'm looking at the pictures, that's not much of one if it turns
No.
out to be one of the deep green ones, lush and.
Yeah, no, I got you. I got you. I got you.
That's a natural one as opposed to a,
Yeah.
I'm sure the other question is that other area over there, which is not in question here as far as what they want to do.
Right. Well, not part of this application.
Nope. Or probably any other.
Any concerns about what's being proposed or the methods?
to Bill's concern about the other side, is there any part of the process here that would allow us to question whether the other side needs
Might
more?
might even be the neighbor, I don't know. I'd have to go down and look at it.
I think based on what we've been presented, no, because it's not,
That's
I mean,
right.
other than general inquiry unrelated to the application, I think.
Well, I guess my question was, does the application go with the lot and what's existing on the whole lot, or does it just go with the area that is being disturbed?
Specifically, it's just the area that's being
Okay.
disturbed. Yeah. Hi, Jen. Thank you very much for putting this together.
No problem. Did you get the budget I emailed for you? Sorry.
I did.
Okay.
I did.
I just wanted, we talked about a little bit at planning board, some of the, though your budget is what it shows right there, but if we had kind of discussed the SRPC membership fees, and if you guys are interested in doing that, maybe we can split it up by committees instead of planning board taking the whole thing and that sort of thing, so I wanted to at least
Okay.
get you thinking.
We
about it.
may only touch on that tonight, but yeah,
That's fine. I'm
we'll discuss.
I'm really deep in budget, so
Deep.
whatever you decide, yeah, it's not pretty. My brain hurts a little bit.
I have a very simple request. Can somebody make sure the front
I
door
just
is
locked
locked?
it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So don't go out and try to come back in because the door is locked.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thanks,
guys. Have a
Jen.
good night.
You too.
Appreciate it. All right, any other questions about this application or what's being proposed?
Nope.
Do I have a motion? Anyone care to make a motion?
I'll recommend it for approval.
Okay. Motion by
One second.
Bill to approve, seconded by Mark. Any further discussion on that motion?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that's unanimous. Just give me a moment to jot down a few particulars here.
Guess I know what you'll be looking at on the drive home, huh?
What?
I know what you'll be looking at on the drive home.
Well, I just came by it the other day, you know, I just had a little boat out, and Gene and I were just cruising the shore. I only commented because I thought one good rain and a good part of the beach was gonna be in the water. It was loose beach.
Okay. I'm not gonna have a good rain like that for a long time, so.
Next up is a permit by notification. Okay. David Collins, South Shore Road.
Where is it?
South Shore Road.
South
South Shore Road. No specific address. Map 122, lot 26.
Okay.
And this is permit by notification.
He owns a bunch of pieces, but they all seem to be around 140. And
Retaining wall repair and replacement. Repair or replacement in kind of retaining wall in the during drawdown. Plan is to rebuild deteriorated concrete wall to be replaced
Down at
with
the end of the cove.
Wall replaced with segmental blocks on the same height, length, location, configuration, all work to be done in the dry.
Excuse me, Ron, sorry.
Yes.
Can you give me the, book on page again, or question number?
Sure, it is map 122, lot 26.
Thank you.
This is also prepared by Thomas Barney.
Makes more sense.
Hmm. It's a right away, right?
Locus is, yeah, okay, guys.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We're there already, I'm sure.
So this is showing us a 20-foot right of way, is that consistent with what you're looking at?
Not there yet. Wanna crack that open, Bob? Yes, it does look like it. Well, that's the subject of.
Hmm.
He's got the house next door. This one is.
Looks like we are talking about an abutment going out here.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Remove a section of that wall, replace with block. Same location, same dimensions. So look, we've got something tipping over. And I would imagine this is largely for structural integrity. The overall location. That's probably the part, yeah, there's the part that needs, that they want to replace.
Okay.
That's what we're dealing with, so it looks like they had an old kind of slapped together concrete wall,
Mm-hmm.
maybe no reinforcement, sitting on top of some boulders.
Mm-hmm. And he's gonna put what in its place?
Putting in the segmented block
Okay.
approach. Questions, comments?
Gonna purchase it on top of those rocks, but
What's that?
I said, I don't know how the wall purchases on top of the rocks, but
Well, I don't think it will be. I think it's, see, here they're showing random boulders right there.
right.
In the new cross-section, no more random boulders. Just the block, the segmented block. Tilted back at a slight angle. With, crushed stone bed underneath it, so. Should be more stable.
What do you, this is just a question, what do you do with all of the rock that the wall is sitting on now?
Unless they specifically ask for it, they've gotta go, you know, unless they ask to place them.
Yeah, no,
Back
it,
into
it,
that.
it,
Yeah,
it,
the other plan did explicitly say they'd remove any extra rocks,
okay.
boulders.
I mean, they're big.
Can I see the picture of the?
Those are,
Sure.
okay. That's not a little equipment, gentlemen.
Just based on the size of the rocks, yeah.
I was wishing we'd remove the whole thing. Well, he's probably not gonna touch these are
No,
better
he's gonna
than.
get these down
Right.
here, that old concrete is sitting on, but those are as big as the ones you're looking at.
Yep.
That's a,
Well, plus he's gotta pull the old concrete out too.
that's a
So
big
one would
excavator.
assume he's gonna have a good sized piece of.
Excavator, yeah,
Right,
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, that's what I mean. That's a fair amount of disturbance, so. He had yeah, he's got a barrier there,
yep,
yeah.
Wonder when these pictures were taken. The only thing I'm wondering is that it says it's gonna be not in the water, right?
right,
How do they know?
in the dry.
How do they know?
How do they know?
I mean, if these pictures were taken last week, for example, we're within like 8 or 9 inches of the low we're gonna go to.
Really?
Yeah.
But
And I don't-
I would tend to doubt
Actually,
their,
yeah, but the application probably went in a while ago, right?
yeah, I'm gonna guess that these photos are considerably older than that, because if you just look,
The grass
what
and
do they,
everything, yeah.
what do they got left? If, how much lower than, standard high water you think we are right now, Mark, up there?
Right now, it's, well, as of last weekend, it was at normal fall radar. And we're
Okay.
gonna go a foot below that.
Okay,
And it's dropped a little since then, so we're probably about,
Yeah, it is down.
we're probably about 9 inches from the low point.
yeah, this has gotta be
Well,
well,
what I mean
well
is
before that.
that's, just a fill area that they're gonna drive out to. Anyway, that's their problem.
Somebody will want it.
Okay,
I don't,
I was just curious.
Plenty of my
That was
own.
Kind of for my own benefit a little bit.
people out in the
That's
Midwest
in the-
kill for rocks like this.
That's right.
I used to go out to Colorado Springs a lot, and they actually have a big business selling them.
Just to put one on their front lawn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, instead of having front lawns out there, they actually put rocks.
That's
right, right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see, this is South Shore. Okay, anyone care to make a motion?
Motion to approve.
Your turn.
I'll second that.
Okay.
It's just to keep my eyes open. Because I'm old.
Jim?
And
Mm.
that was Bill making the motion?
Yep.
All right,
Yeah,
Rob seconding. And get the map number. Okay, any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That is unanimous. Six. I'll forget to sign. Stephanie informs me that something is amiss with the new procedure for submitting applications to the state, whereby the applicants can submit them directly, and they don't have to go or be forwarded by the town clerk. And I pointed out that that kind of bypasses our ability to say yay or nay on it.
Yeah.
And so we're procedurally, we're trying to figure out what's up with that, and how we're going to address it.
pet peeves this year.
Mm-hmm. Oh, boy. Another wetlands permit by notification. I think a few of these look pretty similar. This one is prepared by Thomas Vine as well. Look at that, David Collins. 140 South Shore Road. Plan is to replace a deteriorated mortar rubble masonry wall. Masonry wall is to be rebuilt to change in height. Is to be rebuilt with no change in height, location, or configuration. All work to be done in the dry. So this is.
So now those rocks you were worried about are gonna get touched.
Yeah.
And this is also a wetlands permit by notification. 140 South Shore Road. And the map and lot is 122 lot 27, right next door.
He owns them all, huh?
Across the street too.
Hmm?
Okay.
His parents were actually good friends with my parents. Parents used to live where the captain was, the big anchor thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is literally right next door. To the previous application. Yes. The work is adjacent to.
Right, just a continuation on the neighboring property.
Oh, no, I take that back. Okay, it is
Uh-huh.
confined to this portion over here.
Mhm.
While the rocky shoreline continues, they're not proposing any change there. So they've got 65 linear feet of mortar rubble wall. That looks something like.
I was gonna say, when you drive by, the whole thing talks about a lot of impervious pretty much.
Here's what we've got.
That's okay. Yeah, tell us. Oh, okay, I should have closed it anyway. Keep your feet up. Oh, it's moving your way.
Need more?
Here.
I can get it right here,
Go. I'll launch it that way.
get it under control.
All right, these look pretty recent. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All those walls are getting rough.
Seen a lot worse.
Okay, so
Yeah,
we'll
so
do-
mine.
Yeah. So they're just gonna repoint it, or are they gonna rebuild it?
Well, let's see what they have to say. Remove and rebuild the mortar rubber wall in the same location to same dimensions.
These are all permit by notification, are they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot for.
A lot of work.
Well, I
Is there a
thought,
limit on what you can do for a PBN?
I was gonna say, that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking about,
They-
the one just before it, where we were talking about having to get an excavator in
Yeah.
there, et cetera. That's,
Yeah, I mean, this does, in-kind replacement of a retaining wall in the dry during drawdown is eligible for a permit by notification.
Right.
Well,
Are they gonna replace it with a mortar wall again, or are they gonna do the block stuff? That's,
Replace masonry retaining wall, rebuilt in same location, same dimensions. Improved layer geotextile, reinforced backfill crushed stone column, it's not freeze thaw,
okay.
yeah.
okay.
So this is essentially the difference is some geotextile,
Yeah.
some reinforcement, crushed stone for the base. And,
That's the big thing, is just putting crushed stone in behind it, right?
yeah, they talk about new mortar here, but it's quite possible they're not really taking the stones out, they're just,
Said there's walls on the lake that are in a lot worse shape than that one.
They
right.
might be digging up behind it. And,
I think they're
mortar.
largely stabilizing it with some geotextile and some crushed stone behind it.
Yep.
That's what it looks like. Right there.
Hmm.
So, the wall will largely be unchanged after the process, prettied up a little bit, I guess.
I'll make a motion to approve as submitted.
I'll second that.
Okay.
That one looks like you got the hand.
Okay, motion by Mark, seconded by Bill. Seems to be a pretty complete plan. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. Okay, I think last one. Looking pretty similar going. Retaining wall repair and replacement. Brenda and Frank Connery. 302 Merry Meeting Road, map 119, lot 30. It's a wetlands permit by notification application for retaining wall replacement in kind, same location. During the drawdown, in the drive, so 320 Merry.
It's like an epidemic. This is along that, I think every single neighbor along that stretch has had a permit in front of us in the last 6 months. You know, it's when you drive on Merry Meeting
Mm-hmm.
where the lake is closest to the road there.
Mhm.
Yep.
Right there.
That is to replace deteriorated mortar rubble masonry wall with segmental block wall, existing dock to be replaced with a new conforming dock. Well, a new conforming dock seems to indicate that the current one is not conforming.
Well, the neighbor next door just put in all that block, so if nothing else, it will be consistent.
It will be consistent. Ooh, yeah, this one's not in good shape.
Yeah, and the dock doesn't conform because it's
Mm-hmm.
perpendicular, well, parallel.
Parallel to the shore. Okay, so it's the, like I said, the area where there's just a little strip along the road.
Yeah, and I forget whether, oh, this is closer to the clubhouse. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Very close.
So it's not the area that I was talking about.
So about 50 linear feet of wall.
Is that a dock change?
Yep.
Yeah, too? That was just said.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're actually not as going out as far as they have to, or could, I should say. Because they could go up 40 feet.
40, yep. So we're going from a pretty rough rubble wall right now to block.
Yep.
DS is okay with block replacing rock shoreline?
They are, they have been. I think the theory is there's enough variation in it that, you know, it's better than just a straight slab of concrete, you know.
It's still reflective.
It is, there's no question about it.
Yeah.
But that it may diffract some of the wave action a little bit. You know, so they seem to be okay with it.
Not to mention the visuals. If they're okay with it.
Has he got something in behind that one?
Bill, did you see the pictures yet?
I did, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, I know the property there.
Any concerns about what's being proposed? Pretty standard methods?
This process includes a butter notification, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And they do have the return receipts
Yeah,
on that.
I thought so, just,
Now, is that block interlocking so that it semi-seals, does it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it typically is, yes.
So any water gets behind it, they're off the road, just kind of seeps through it.
Right. Now,
Just trying to
you know, in
think
this
what
case,
the
they
bottom-
also surround it with the geotextile and crushed stone really underneath,
Yeah,
in the back, and you know, on top as well.
because it's at, kind of at the bottom of a grade there, it must get a fair amount of water runoff.
it's literally right beside the clubhouse, pretty much. There's the clubhouse, then one,
Oh.
Diversity.
Okay, it's on that end, that's right, okay, I was thinking it was the other side of the marina. but
Yeah, it was
that's-
first two, yeah.
Okay.
This is the,
Yeah, that's not a problem there, I was thinking it was, yeah.
Yeah, one of the pictures here shows that location pretty well.
Yeah, one of the limitations when they don't have at least a simple work barge on the lake is that you can't put rock in just to build a rough base to those kind of walls and things. It would shore them up nicely. But, you know, without a work barge on the lake, it's impractical to do.
Mm.
So you have to move quite a bit of stone.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what they seem to do more of on Winnipesaukee, is they place
Yeah.
a lot of, you know, sloping stone. They do move a lot of rock into that lake, holy mackerel, the barges. Also new boathouses, would you believe that?
Really?
Yes.
how?
How? Mr. Romney's son has a brand new one.
Oh, but there wasn't one there before?
Nope,
It's a hover house, is it?
it's not the only, he's not the only one either.
Connections, I guess, huh?
No.
Interesting.
Maybe their grandfather for way back.
Uh,
Maybe there was a,
Because I actually just found out this week that my property used to have a boathouse.
huh?
Oh, yeah?
One of the neighbors who's been there forever said, yeah, you guys used to have a boathouse.
Well,
You got any pictures?
There you go. There you go. Well, I'm sure that
I wouldn't want it
I'm
anyway.
sure they could find something of that sort with all those homes along that shoreline he's on too.
right.
So, you know, vestiges of something old.
Well, that's not being proposed for this
No.
application here. We have a improved wall, a conforming dock to replace the one that is there right now, seasonal dock, mind you. And methods outlined pretty well. Do we have any questions, comments, concerns? Do I have a motion
It's
from
an
anyone?
improvement.
Anyone care to make a
I'll
motion?
make a motion to approve the application.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Further discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, that is unanimous.
Yeah, if you haven't been on Winnipesaukee in a while, it's worth a ride around the shoreline, at least for the southern half of the lake. Amazing.
Seeing some interesting things, Arvin?
Hmm?
Seeing
No,
some
just-
interesting things, or?
No, just from a standpoint of the transition to enormous homes.
Oh, yeah, oh, that part.
Yeah.
So on a somewhat
With-
related
and
topic,
some
so we're waiting for the
privileges
next thing to
taken,
be
yeah.
queued up here. I was thinking, the whole discussion of the hatchery, you know, we're dropping in the lake and they want to get it back up again by the beginning of November because they want to make sure that the shoreline water is there for the frogs and the amphibians and so forth, and
Right.
and the fish eggs and before the freeze comes in.
Yeah,
What happens if the drought continues and they're trying to bring the lake back up and the hatchery still wants to use 6 million gallons a day like they use now?
is it 6 million? Is that,
That's what I was told.
I thought it was just a million,
I was told between 4 and 6 million.
Yeah. Oh, well,
I've
that,
heard 6, but
okay,
That's
well,
the numbers I've
that's
seen,
news, I just
Something's gotta give, huh?
right
misspoke.
now,
Yeah, that's true.
That's a good
I
point.
mean, that's one of the reasons why the lake drops all summer long, even when they've
Yeah.
got the dam on.
Well, that's one of
Right.
the ways to get rid of those nasty weeds down in Downing Pond. I don't know whether anybody's gonna address those. The phragmites?
Mighty?
Yeah,
Mm.
they've just begun. And
Just begun,
there's one good solid clump, and then there's some invasion of the cattails in a couple of other places, but minor. I mean, they should be nipped soon. There's not many around. Not in town. You know of any others?
no, I mean, that's something to talk with DES. I mean, they don't like messing with the cattails, but exotics,
Yeah,
they might have a suggestion for a management strategy.
yeah, I would say, well, the water, when and if they drop the pond, it would be a time to get something activated to, I don't know whether you just dig them, burn them, poison them. We throw poison in there?
Well, I don't think they'd want that. In New Hampshire, anyway.
they burn well, I hear.
They do, they burn them, but there's also a cycle of dropping the water, raising the water, et cetera. Bob knows all about that stuff, it goes along with fish
Yeah,
and bugs.
gotcha. All right, just a little bit more on our agenda here, and just briefly, we'll just touch a little bit on the budget right at the end. This was just dumped on me today, basically, so I think we saved most of the discussion for the next meeting. A reminder, on this Thursday evening is the public input visioning session for the Regional Conservation Action Plan being put on by Moose Mountains Regional Greenways. It's being held in Wakefield, and I think I've sent all of you guys information invites to that. Hope to see you there.
Yeah.
Turning into a pretty exciting process. There's some good stuff going on here. Also, on the Widowmaker Farm Conservation Easement, held a site walk with the L-chip folks on last Thursday.
Mhm.
Everything seemingly well received. We don't know exactly how it will sit in the application process until sometime later in November.
Is that an old legacy farm that they're?
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It is an old legacy farm right at the southern tip of New Durham. Total 130 acre
Yeah,
parcel.
eventually we'd like to Walking?
You will have an invitation. You will all receive invitations to an event that is being held there on the 15th of October.
Okay.
I don't think that's going to count as a formal site walk for us necessarily, but it's more kind of a introductory, see what it's all about kind of thing. At some point, as we go further into this process, and if the commission wants to consider contributing to the project, kind of like we did with Thompson, then we'll probably want to do a little more detailed
Yeah.
site walk. It's fascinating property, absolutely
Haven't
fascinating.
seen the Thompsons this year either. I haven't gotten over to steel flowers.
Ah,
I usually chop around.
well, speaking of which, I'll be happy to give you a heads up on when an easement monitoring walk will be taking place.
Okay.
If you're
Yep.
so, if you're
Would
so
like to.
inclined, and that applies to any member of the commission.
Sure.
The Thompson property, Mark, I don't know if you're familiar with it, that was something that the commission contributed to. It's Moose Mountains held easement on, gosh, what is the total area? It's 180 acres or something like that. Straddles New Durham, Farmington line.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more of it in Farmington than New Durham,
I know where it is.
but it's just down the road from Widowmaker Farm.
Just
And,
drove by it the other day.
It's
Yeah.
a good farmland. It's on the prime farmland list too.
yeah.
Okay.
So, as part of annual easement monitoring, because we hold a secondary executory interest, the town holds an executory interest in the easement on the property as well. Moose Mountains holds the primary.
Yep.
And so we are certainly able to participate in that. Bill and I went last year, right,
Yep.
on that.
Which reminds me.
Beautiful property,
I've got-
beautiful property.
Grab young Curtis and go over and see the Holmes property and just do that. I'm trying to palm that off on him slowly.
There you go, there you go.
But I would like the Holmes to do some water quality. I started them off a couple of years ago and then I kind of dropped them on Shaw's Pond.
Mhm.
The selectmen,
Okay.
did Mike tell you that the selectmen would like to have the other major bodies in town checked at least once a year?
No,
They're willing to support
he
that.
was mentioning he was interested potentially.
Yeah, I said, not this year. Next year, Mike.
Check on what?
Just a kind of a baseline, review of the water quality and the given ponds, the chemistry, et cetera.
Oh, okay.
Just so that we know if it's running amok, in other words, to have a trend.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
A baseline.
I got you. Okay, a few items of mail. We have, I think this is additional follow-up. There was a request for more information on the, one of the Roslavicus applications. Standard dredge and fill app. That's from DES. There is,
Well, that's the same, sounds like the same as the concern we had on that.
right.
We didn't.
Lack of some details, yeah. Dear Conservation Agent, Town of New Durham, attaches information from the New Hampshire Department of DES regarding my inquiry on the need for a permit to do repair work on my dock at Merrymeeting Lake during the drawdown. Forwarding this information to you in the case any interested party inquires as to permit status. Ooh. So someone's proposing a Mr. George Williams is proposing some work. DES has indicated what? I'm not really following this. Okay, I see. All right, all right. So it looks like this gentleman is providing some information to us in case there are questions that arise about the work that he is doing on his wall along the lake. And he has some information from Darlene Forst at DES, one of the wetlands folks there, in response to his inquiry. And she says, if you can stay within the criteria outlined below, you can do the work without a permit. And she cites the Wetlands Rule, ENVWT 303.05, projects that do not require a permit, and is pointing to repair or reconstruction of an existing legal structure other than a stream crossing that meets the following conditions. The size, location, configuration, and construction shall remain unchanged. There shall be no work on any portion of the structure located in the water. The work shall not require the use of tracked or wheeled equipment in the department's jurisdiction, and the structure has not been abandoned. However, it sure looks like this work is going to be done in an area that is inundated.
Oddly, mine
I think he is interpreting.
Mine qualifies under those rules to be able to work on it without, I'm out of the water, or it's gonna be a manual job, and it's just a small repair job.
Is it always out of the water?
Pardon?
Is it
Yeah.
always out of the
I was
water?
gonna
No,
say, that's the
always.
thing.
This is not.
But the way that thing reads, you could take
Is
it
it-
either way.
Does
Well-
it say always out of the water? Is that the word?
It's proposing some repairs here. No, it says,
I thought it just said out of the water.
there shall be no work on any portion of the structure located in the water. So the structure is located in the water under normal circumstances. I think that
But-
can be interpreted.
Yeah.
To say that-
But if it's on dry, I mean, if it's well clear of water at the time.
No. That's what a permit by notification is for.
Okay, I
That's-
just wondered because.
That's what a permit by
Yeah.
notification
But
is
to
I've been
Bill's point, I'm
remiss
not
in-
arguing for this, by the way, but the way that's worded, I could.
for. It is confusing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say confusing, ambiguous.
Well, this was I'm not sure how much,
And that's what I can work on.
not sure how much
See how
information.
he could interpret it.
No, well, that's,
Well, I mean, it's clearly anticipated in the permit by notification process for retaining wall repair and replacement,
right.
in the dry during drawdown.
So I guess the question becomes, is it fair to allow him, when these people have gone through all of this?
That's
Well,
part-
right.
That's my feeling. Yeah.
No contractor should take that on
No,
if they're legitimate anyway. So we got some very shady people if they're willing to do the work for them.
That's
Unless
right.
they're doing it themselves.
Well, that's possible.
No,
Now, one thing I will tell you, you know where it is, Bill, right? The lights up there right when they point
color me a shady person, what?
with the property, it's right near where.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
It's the yellow one with the Gulfstream trailers.
Yep. Yep,
I mean, I will say, it's one of the prettier pieces of shoreline on the lake. They haven't, it's all natural blueberry bushes and.
yep.
For the most part, they've maintained it nicely.
Mhm,
this was sent on September 9th. It's probably
Okay, well, I was-
underway already.
I was just quizzing for my own purposes, seeing as I've been remiss in filing it.
And the question becomes, what could we do about it at this point anyway? Other than watch it? Right?
Well, I mean, we don't have any authority. We'd have to forward it on to DES. And they do have enforcement power, what they do. If they want to make an example of somebody, they can come down hard. And that's
Yes,
the case they've done on Winnipesaukee with some of those
that's right.
boat slips that are built into the landscape.
That's
They normally
correct.
kind of fine them and let them go, but they do have the authority to
Oh, boy,
remediate.
they've gotten loose up there again now.
I
It's,
want to look at the complete language. myself. But
What is the new board that they formed, the Bank of
I
Lawyers?
guess where I was going with this, Ron, is it worth a phone call to the woman that was quoted there, saying, hey, how do you compare these two? And
yeah, we're not getting the complete picture of what information was provided to her in the inquiry. It's just a piece of it. Oh, yeah.
Look at the date.
Okay, here's a letter from DES to New Durham Building Inspector. A long former New Durham Building Inspector about perfluorinated compounds and MTBE in groundwater. As a code enforcement official, you are aware of many state and local regulations. However, you may not be familiar with the best management practices for groundwater protection rules. So this is an introductory thing for local code enforcement officers regarding best management practices. Just some more information on that.
Isn't that Charlie Ruby's area of expertise? Isn't it?
Related or
With the,
formerly so, yes. Okay. So that's all we've got from mail. I do want to look into this a little bit more. Excuse me, one more item. We do have the latest edition of DES Environmental News reminding us that we have extreme drought conditions. Imagine that.
Okay,
Imagine that.
well, it's hard to imagine,
Okay, just literally this afternoon, I was forwarded a request for the commission to prepare a budget for next year. I'm not gonna, we're not gonna get into this right now because this is just requested of us. But one of the items that Jen mentioned earlier is that, and I don't know if you can fill us in on this, Bob, was there some impetus to becoming members of Stratford Regional Planning Commission again after we have not been for a year or two?
For last year, we haven't been.
For last
But
year.
yes, it did come up at the planning board meeting of evaluating whether it was worth renewing the membership.
Mhm.
Because they have been providing us with assistance with some of the master planning initiative, and some other things in town, traffic studies, I believe.
Yeah.
Working with the highway department. So, anyway, Jen had mentioned asked whether or not it was worth, if the Conservation Commission was interested in pursuing that membership and then potentially splitting the cost. Because it's one fee, but different organizations, groups may use it in town, entities in town may use it. So if there's some value, the Conservation Commission, whether or not the Conservation Commission feels there's value in becoming members again, is
Okay.
the question.
Okay.
And the planning board's evaluating it. We just got hit with the request for the budget information too. So
Right.
so we kind of talked about it a little bit.
Mhm.
And the hope is to explore what services they'd be able to provide over the next year.
Okay.
I mean, certainly, we've been on the board when they've been invaluable to us. and,
Absolutely.
I certainly see some value, but trying to get a little bit of an idea of what they'd be able to offer over the next year was where the planning board was looking.
I got you. We have, as a Conservation Commission, availed ourselves of some of their services in the past as well for mapping.
yeah, when I was doing Holmes property,
Right.
they did a great deal, and then we went with Stratford Rivers, who was obviously gone south, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
what's the
So-
cost per year for the whole thing, not this year?
It's over 2,000,
It's-
probably
it's-
25,
it's-
maybe up to 3,000
It's
by now.
about 3,000. It's based on your population. It's roughly 3,000, maybe just under, but
Right.
around that.
For the history is, Mark, that we had been members for a very long time. As a matter of fact, well, I think it was when I was on the planning, or chairing the planning board, when we finally got back to being members again. And we had
Yes.
a number of years where they were really invaluable, helping out with, particularly with master planning work and what have you.
And what was the reason for stopping other than, no,
There was that, we hadn't been using them as much for some of the services, but they've definitely been helping out the planning board quite a bit of late. So the question came back up whether it was appropriate to put that back in the budget.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'd be supportive of perhaps taking a portion of it and attributing it to the Conservation Commission. I wouldn't say we should be 50% of it, but,
No.
you know, I don't know, maybe 25 or something like that. But ultimately, I suspect that during budget review, even though it may be split between multiple boards, they may still look at it as one line item, right, in the overall budget. You know, it's one $3,000 line item, but I don't know
what are the odds that they're gonna allow any additions this year?
yeah, I don't know what anyone else thinks about it. But they have been and continue to be certainly quite helpful in some efforts.
Yeah.
You know, particularly mapping efforts and what have you. Other than that, did everyone receive a copy of this? It's basically,
Yeah.
maybe you just want to take a look at this in preparation for the next meeting. We'll try to get this together. I mean, essentially, we've always contributed to the water quality testing. We have printing line items and what have you. We still haven't. It's always we're paying right at the end of the year. Is that it for the water quality testing? So that always shows up
Well, we've
right at the end of the
done
year.
quite a bit more this year. I don't know whether, that's something that needs a little discussing too, as to whether it's necessary to do quite the level we've done.
Mhm.
Maybe I'm shaky ground here bringing it up, and I'm gonna anyway, because I've talked to Bob about it in years past in my other roles. But it used to be that the Lake Association would reimburse the town for this. Isn't that the way it worked?
I think it used to be the town, it would be, both entities would pay a
That's correct.
portion of the cost.
Right. It was 50-50 split, right?
I don't know if it was 50/50, but it may have been at one point.
I think it was
varied a
50/50,
little bit,
but
yeah.
the point I'm bringing up somewhat reluctantly as the treasurer of the august body is we haven't paid anything in 2 years. Because I tried, once I got involved, to find out what the process was for us to get a bill and pay it. And I talked to the town administrator at the time, I talked to the town manager at the time, and got a lot of glazed eyes, and I tried 3 or 4 times, and I'll be honest, I finally gave up and said,
Yeah. We've had to pursue that effort ourselves, I think, just
Yeah.
to make
Marilyn
sure.
used to take care of it though.
Mhm.
She always saw to it that we got it.
all we need is a bill.
Just ask, that's right. Get an invoice.
It's
And where-
something the association supports
Mhm.
totally,
And where do the invoices come from, Bob?
Comes from UNH accounting office, yeah.
but it would go to the town, and the town had to invoice us for our piece.
I think you're right.
And the town has not been sending their invoice to us,
Ah,
despite many attempts to get one.
okay. Yet I'm pretty sure that the town would not have paid the entire bill either. So,
I did-
We can look into it.
okay.
Probably not, but I thought they were.
And
paying
again, given that there's new
$2,000 or
people
something.
involved,
Yeah.
I'm willing to make them run at it again, even
Yeah.
otherwise I wouldn't have brought it up. but-
Gotcha. Okay. That's good to know, Mark. That's very good to know. All right, any other items under new or old business? I'm trying to think if I had anything else that I wanted to bring up.
I have one thing to bring up.
Yes,
And
Bob.
I mentioned last time the Penny Lane parcel.
Ah, yes.
It was the one that was discussed a little bit on Jones Pond. There was insufficient information to really review anything. Well, the applicant resubmitted an application, and this was going back about 3 months or so when it last came up. But applicant resubmitted an application for a conditional use permit for the steep slope overlay district, and also impacts the stormwater management ordinance, triggers the stormwater management ordinance. So an application was submitted. It was found to be incomplete. I do have the 2 plans that were, 2 pages that were submitted, if that's of interest to look at. But the applicant has to come up with some deficient materials and resubmit. So
Okay,
there is an application forthcoming. It'll be discussed at the,
to be continued.
to be
huh?
continued.
To be continued.
But the Conservation Commission a few months ago was interested in seeing a
Yes.
plan for review.
Yes,
And I just want to double check, is that still the standing case?
Absolutely.
Somebody just paid.
Absolutely.
I will
$2,000.
relay that
I
information.
couldn't remember. Okay,
gravel pit, stockpiles.
We can
Wow.
get an invoice,
yeah,
because I can't write a check or anything
I
without.
thought we got one last year.
No, no.
Okay,
Hmm,
because this year's gonna be considerably more expensive.
okay. Guess I can kind of see why you may have considered it incomplete. They all the same?
There were two, there was one that's the slope categories. I think there's, that was the main one that we looked at. Just the topography.
Does it matter that that's kind of a connector and a greenway between bigger pieces of property? Is that
Well-
considered at all?
Specifically, I would say probably not for
Okay.
for the steep slopes and stormwater impacts, but
Right.
got some pretty steep slopes
Mhm.
Yeah.
throughout.
Mhm.
So you're trying to build on this property, aren't they?
Well, I can certainly see why there were concerns.
So as I indicated, they're supposed to be submitting a revised application with those deficient materials for October 18th.
October 18th.
So at least their target date, so.
It's pretty creative.
Thank you, Bob.
This is an FYI, there's no action on threats, right?
No,
No,
not at the moment. Thank you very much. I didn't have anything else. Anybody else? Anything to bring up?
Nope, everybody knows what we're doing as far as the hatchery is concerned. I'm sure everybody's comfortable with that conversation.
Is
Are
there a
you-
time and date set yet? do you know?
No?
Nope.
Are you-
I did hear from Mike Gelinas. I talked to him yesterday, I think. He said they're trying to shoot for an October 11th,
Something like that.
something date for.
I just got an email from Mike Gelinas about Downing's Pond.
No, that. So there may be an opportunity to
Oh,
Are you-
join that effort, but that's not confirmed. Nothing's confirmed as of this point in time.
Are you at all familiar with most land application or composting of that kind of stuff?
Just peripherally.
I mean, I didn't know. It seemed that that was out of the question as far as cost, but as I was saying to Bob, you know, maybe cost is something they're not gonna have to deal with, you know,
Right. Well,
as
exactly.
an alternative.
Yeah. Right. It's-
So the mail from Mike is Fish and Game has lowered both Merrimack Lake and Jones Pond, and they're now gonna lower Downing's Pond. Freezing roots helps maintain thin vegetation.
We should get
Okay.
that.
It just came in from Mike.
Okay. Final
Your copy, right?
motion by anyone?
motion adjourned.
Okay.
Second.
Motion adjourned by Bob, second by Mark at 8:15. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That is unanimous.